Hi Honey Family, welcome back. As you can probably tell from the title, I'm going to give you some easy ways to contact and communicate with ghosts and spirits. Now, one way is, of course, a Ouija board. There's a lot of controversy surrounding Ouija boards. A lot of people think you can only summon demons with Ouija boards. I don't agree with that. I've had a lot of positive experiences with Ouija boards, including contacting the spirit of my great-great-grandmother. Actually, I was not even using the board. I was just in the room while other people was using the board when she came through. And she told them things that no one else in the room, except for me, could have possibly known. So I've had lots of positive experiences. I know other people have had lots of positive experiences with them. I think, like anything, they're just a tool. Good or bad, they're just a tool. Now, probably one of my absolute favorite methods is dowsing rods. Yeah, I keep a set here in my recording studio. I didn't bring these in for the video. They just sit right here on my little table. This is a set that I made myself. I use them all the time. We have a video on how to make these. Really easy to use. They have been used for thousands and thousands of years. Another way is a pendulum. Really good for asking yes or no questions. Not so much for if you want to get into, full names. I mean, you could. I'm actually working on in my embroidery shop a mat similar to a Ouija board for using your pendulum with. And how a pendulum works is you hold it, you steady it, you ask it to show you yes, you ask it to show you no, similar to using dowsing rods, and then you ask your questions. If you don't have a pendulum, you can make one relatively easy. One of my favorite ways to DIY pendulums is using rings. These are some rings from a relative. They're wedding bands. The relative has since passed over. So you'll just thread the ring through. This is just a piece of embroidered thread that I had in this room already. Tie a simple knot and ask your questions. This technique right here, using a ring and thread, is very common. I don't know if it's common where you live, but it's common where I live for finding out the gender of babies with expectant mothers, before the ultrasound. So it's one of those old wives' tale methods. You suspend it over the woman's belly, and if it circles one way, it's a girl. If it circles the other way, it's a boy. Some people say it's rather accurate for that. I don't know. I've never had a child, so never done it. So another way is scrying. Scrying is it's a very diverse topic. You can use almost any reflective, refractive, translucent, or luminescent surface to scry with. Some common surfaces is fire, water, smoke, mirrors, black surfaces, And of course, you all seen, you know, the old mystic using a crystal ball. I think fire and smoke were two of the first scrying methods that I was ever introduced to. We were actually snowed in for a blizzard, and my mom taught me how to scry using a candle. It's really simple. You just take a candle. I usually use a bigger candle than this. And of course my lighter doesn't work. Is it the only one I got in here? I think it is the only one I got in here. Well, anyway, you just light the candle. You stare into the flames. Another way you can use a candle for communicating with the spirit is you take your candle, you write yes on one side of a piece of paper, you write no on the other side of a piece of paper, and you set your candle in the center of it. And then you ask yes or no questions. If the flame moves in one direction, the answer is whatever's on that side of the paper. If it moves in the other, it's whatever's on that side of the paper. And common types of mediums to produce smoke to scry with is tobacco. I don't know if y'all can actually see that. Tobacco. And sage. Another method, right here, digital recorder. You ask your questions, you wait a few moments, you stop the recorder, you play it back, and you hope that you get some sort of response. If you go back into a previous episode, you will hear, you'll see video that we took a weekend that we went camping at a local battlefield. And we believe that on one of our EVPs, we actually got a spirit telling us where a historic house was. We had asked, do you know where this house is? And the response to all of us definitely sounded like the name of the town that the house was in. Seances. It's a very funny story. Years and years ago, a bunch of my friends wanted to start dabbling into the occult and things of that nature, and they wanted to have a seance. So of course they turned to me. Apparently I look like the type who would know how to host a seance. And of course I knew how to host a seance. So I gathered them all together. We decided to do it late one night because they were afraid their parents would find out and not be happy with it. We started the seance. Well, we started, have the seance, and I was asked, is there any particular person you all would like to try to make contact with? And one of the girls in the group said, Johnny Depp. Now, at the time of the seance, and at the time of this recording, Johnny Depp is still very much alive. Yeah. As far as I know, you can't use a seance to contact living people. You can, however, astral project to living people. I was not going to tell her that, though. Kind of going hand in hand with seances is table tapping. Pretty much the same. It's kind of like a hybrid of seances and Ouija boards. Only you don't actually have the alphabet on a board on the table. You all sit around a table. You ask a question, and you begin to recite the alphabet. And if you get to a letter that the spirit needs, you will hear a tap or the table will move. Of course, this was also very prominent in Victorian spiritualism, which, as we know, also produced a lot of frauds and fakes. Although I would love to I would love to develop a persona of a Victorian spiritualist for like living history. I think that would be a very fun thing to show the public. But also, people really don't respond well to spiritualists and seances and contacting the dead. It's, there's a lot of people, especially in my area, in, the Bible Belt, that doesn't like that. Another way you can contact spirits or talk to ghosts, paper and pen. Automatic writing. You sit down, you put yourself into a deep meditative state, almost like a trance, and you begin to write. You let the spirits move through you and control what you are writing, what is coming out of your hand onto the paper. Okay, if you want a more expensive way to communicate with spirits, you can go out and spend anywhere from $50 to a few $100s and get yourself a spirit box or an ovilus. The ovilus, kind of like a speak and spell for ghosts. It has a database of words in it, and using sensors that measure the electromagnetic field and temperature and blah blah blah, it produces words that correspond with those readings. Yeah. Or then you can get spirit boxes become very popular. I think they have the SB7, the SB11. They sweep FM radio frequencies and allow the spirit to spit out little bits of conversation from the different frequencies to communicate with you. I'm a little dubious on those. I don't really know if I don't have enough hands-on experience with those tools to know if they are really worth the money that places online are charging for them. If you have one, fine, use it. There are a lot cheaper ways to communicate with spirits. So, in conclusion, if you want to talk to a ghost, fine, do it. Make sure you really want to, and realize that when you seek out communication with the other side, you don't always know what you're going to get, who you're going to get, and you might not get somebody who is friendly. I'm not saying, demonic. I'm just saying that just how people in life are not always nice. Sometimes spirits on the other side are not always nice. You could end up with a jerk. You could end up with someone who's not, pleasant. Be prepared for that. If you do use one of these methods and communicate with the other side and unleash hell in your house, don't blame me. Do it at your own risk. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.